That actually looked like they were a decent hockey team. Avs win over the Dallas Stars 5-1. Sadly, this game was not broadcast in video format anywhere out there. As of the recording of this video, there aren't even highlights readily available, so once again, you guys will just have to live with my weak descriptions of the game. The first period in this one was a lot like a mirror image of the first game, but the Avs were scoring the goals this time. Just 2 minutes in, Warshawski finds himself with the puck near the center point. He manages to skate in and does a good job to get himself into the high slot. Lets a shot go, wasn't particularly strong, but extremely accurate, and beats Niemi up high going bar down. 1-0 Avs. Shortly after that, Dallas gets into penalty trouble, which would be a theme for them the entire night long. And on the power play, the Avs manage to convert goal number 2. Big Ron gets the puck at the near point. He sees Andrighetto cutting down towards the far post and makes a great slap pass right onto Andrighetto's stick, and Ghetto tips it just past Lettinen's skate to put him up. Not done yet. A little bit over a minute later, Kerfoot takes the offensive blue line. He slows up in the zone and shows great patience and calmness with the puck to wait for the fifth man in Sergei Boykov to get him the puck. Boykov kind of just fires off a seeing eye shot that manages to find its way through about 4 or 5 bodies and somehow winds up in the back of the net. And now we're barely 5 minutes in and the Avs are up by 3. To temper the mood a bit, shortly after the face-off following the third goal, Boykov got checked into the boards in the corner. It looked like he went down a little bit awkwardly, and he came up holding his right arm. He went straight into the locker room, and now we have confirmed that he is in fact injured, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a day-to-day thing. So, kind of unfortunate to score a goal, and then now who knows where he's going to be. While I don't think the check was particularly malicious or anything like that, we did see Siemens answer the bell and stick up for his teammate, and man, it really looked like he clobbered the guy in a fight. At this point, I was still high up near the top of the Pepsi Center, so I didn't get a great view of all the details of the fight, but Siemens was swinging a lot, and the guy he was fighting against wasn't. The rest of the first was kind of a mess of penalties. The Avs took 1 themselves, and Dallas took 3, including one for that face-off violation, creating a full 2-minute opportunity 5-on-3 for the Avalanche. They couldn't manage to come through and score on it, though. They seemed to kind of fall back into old habits, passing more than they should, and no one wanting to pull the trigger on a shot. Aside from the 3 goals on 3 shots in the first 5 minutes for the Avs, the whole period was relatively even possession-wise. Both teams had chances going back and forth. Varley was playing well in net for the Avs, and Lettinen obviously struggled early. During the first intermission, I met up with VoiceofVlad, and I have to give him huge shout-outs. He used some of his season ticket reward points to upgrade our tickets. From sitting in section 370, we were now all of a sudden sitting in section 130 in row 3. I could basically touch the glass. So taking the 3-0 lead into intermission, it's clear that the battle for those last few defensive spots is on. You have Warshawski picking up a goal and an assist in that period, Bigra with a very nice assist in that period, and Siemens, not to be left behind, dropped the gloves and had a great fight in that period. And that's not even mentioning Mironov. Heading into the second, a minute and a half in, Dallas finds themselves in penalty trouble yet again, and this time the Avs make them pay. Yakupov finds Warshawski at the center of the blue line, and he kind of just sends a soft little floater up through the slot. And he has Kerfoot screening in the slot, as well as Duchesne screening directly in front of the goalie. Kerfoot shows off some really nice hands, putting a perfect tip on the floater, and it beats Lettinen for nothing. So now you have Warshawski with 2 points, Yakupov with 2 points, and Kerfoot with 2 points. That makes me really excited, especially with Kerfoot working with Yakupov and Duchesne. Maybe Duchesne being here for the opening night game wouldn't be the worst thing ever. As the second period continued, Dallas's parade to the penalty box continued. 4.5 minutes in, Landy almost springs himself for a breakaway, but gets hooked on the way in, and they call it a penalty shot. He goes over to have a little bit of a chat with Varley before he takes it, steps up, comes up down the near side, tries to go backhand to forehand, and then cuts it back with the Forsberg move back to the backhand to try and beat Lettinen, but just can't quite get it outside the pad, and it stays 4-0. 30 seconds later, the Avs go back on the power play. Once again, they fail to score. And then finally, we see the game start to slow down. A little bit more physicality. Things start getting mucked up a little bit more. And there isn't a penalty called for a little while, so we actually get to see some continual hockey, which was nice. As a fan, there is absolutely such a thing as too many penalties. Not getting a good look at what this team is going to do 5-on-5 was a little bit disappointing for me, and I really don't like how the NHL has set up this preseason to call just about everything unbelievably tight. I understand that they have to try and enforce new rules, or enforce rules that they should have been enforcing in the first place, but it would be nice if they let them play at least a little bit. What was nice to see out of the Avs for most of the second period was that they had the lion's share of the chances, despite being up 4-0 on Dallas. Colorado had roughly 30 Corsi events for, compared to Dallas, who had just 12. When you're maintaining a team down by 4 goals to just 12 Corsi events, you're playing some pretty strong possession hockey. The second period wraps up with penalties going both ways, one to Colorado, one to Dallas. Neither team manages to score, and we head into the third up by 4 now. In the third period, we finally start to see a few penalties coming back the Avs' way. Early on, Mironov tries to lay down one of his patented hip checks. He comes in a little bit low and doesn't quite get the check solidly, so he ends up just clipping the guy and tripping him. They call him on it for 2 minutes. The Avs easily manage to kill it, but then almost immediately take another penalty. And somehow they managed to kill that one as well. So now we're 5 minutes into the third period with the Avs having killed 2. With the penalty kills swinging momentum into Colorado's favor, they start pushing the play again. And we get Yakupov with control across the offensive blue line. He finds Duchesne on the left side. Duchesne just walks in with a little bit of space and beats the goalie Landon Bow, who came in at the start of the third. With 6 shots on the night, Dutchy did only manage to score the 1 goal, but he had a lot of the crowd oohing and aahing as he put on some of his patented moves, such as his corner spin move, and he was really working hard all night long, much like what we saw from him in training camp. So 5-0 with less than 15 minutes to play. This one is basically totally bagged and tagged, so the refs start looking to even up those penalty calls a little bit. I mean, what? No. NHL refs would never do that. What are you talking about? But first, Greer gonna Greer. All night long, he'd been trying to mix it up, always getting physical after the whistle, trying to start stuff. And 8 minutes into the third, he finally gets one started. He gets to go with the guy down in the corner. It was maybe 10 feet away from me. I could see him right there. Wasn't too much of a fight. Neither of them got too many punches in, but Greer did manage to do enough to get his hand cut up. He seemed fine. He came back out on the ice once he had served his penalty, so I don't think it was anything serious, but it was pretty wild to see him throwing punches with some bleeding knuckles that close. Avs end up getting dinged for 3 penalties in a row, 2 of which are just 9 seconds apart, creating an extended 5-on-3 for the Stars, on which they get a shot from the point that gets deflected. Varley manages to make the initial save, but he can't control the rebound. It bounces right out to the Stars player, and he just pops it into the top of the net to ruin the shutout bid. So with the shutout over, you would expect the game to just wind down, but the Dallas Stars just cannot stay out of the penalty box. They take 3 more penalties across the second half of the third, including getting another matching minor penalty with AJ Greer, who just won't quit, and it ends up being a total score of 5-1. I do want to talk about that defenseman battle a little bit more. Full disclosure, I am for sure a Big Raw fanboy, but I thought he looked the best of the three tonight. He was effective in both zones, providing a quality offense and super solid defense, and would really like to see him slot in on the Avs this year. I don't know if he'll end up winning the spot or not just yet, as that's likely still up in the air, but I do think we will see him get some NHL games for sure. For Siemens, I think he played like a prototypical 7th defensive defenseman tonight. He was very physical, willing to throw down and protect his teammates when necessary, and kept things quiet in the defensive zone. It's exactly how he needs to play, and he continues to be playing that way for basically all of preseason. So it looks like he might be able to get that 7th spot as well. For Warsofsky, yes, he had a great game offensively. If he can continue to do that, he may well earn the spot. But he was a little bit suspect in his own zone, and I question if the Avs have room for him when they already have Barberio and Barry on the roster as offensive-type guys. Behind the defenders, Varlamov in net looked super solid. I think this was a perfect game for him. He had enough going on to where he was active, making 21 saves on 22 shots, but he wasn't overworked and he didn't have to make very many crazy saves or anything like that. A really good warm-up and a good way to shake off the rust for him. On offense, besides the Kerfoot, Duchesne, Yakupov line, I really liked what I saw out of Andrighetto. He scored the one goal, but was also very involved on a number of power plays, and I really think he could be one of those guys that are a nice accessory piece in the top 6. And finally, you have JT Compher, who did have a bit of a quieter night tonight, but what I like about him so much is how easily he creates chemistry. Doesn't matter who he's on a line with or how long they've been together. He just seems to find ways to know where to be and know where to find them. I've nicknamed him the Chemist from now on. I'm going to keep calling him that. You're just going to have to deal with it. That is the end of this preseason game review. Thank you for watching. Once again, thank you to VoiceofVlad for the amazing seats. It was truly an awesome experience to get to sit down that close. The Avs go again on Saturday the 23rd. It looks like there might be a way that I can get some actual highlight clips for that one, so hopefully we can have those in the next one. I'm Rudo3, and let's bring back Howler.